Welcome to Yowza, a snack-sized slice of Viennese classical music and Austrian culture. I'm your host, Daniel Adam Maltz. Hello from Baden, Austria. I'm at the Beethovenstein, or Beethoven Stone, one of Beethoven's supposed favorite resting places on his long nature walks around Baden. Beethoven spent roughly 15 summers in Baden, and I'm going to the Beethoven House Baden to discuss its significance to him. Why did Beethoven come to Baden?
So Baden is a spa town, so we do have the sulfur springs, which are very healthy. You can either drink them or bath in them. So a lot of times doctors prescribed him to come to Baden to get to the spas. And the other reason is that Baden was the residence of the emperor for the summer. So a lot of people who, meet and greet like it is today, so he could get a few connections here. So that's the two main reasons he came here.
Sure, so it was like a win-win situation for him. Have his health and be around his patrons, right?
Yes.
And he came to Baden quite often.
Yes, quite a few times actually. He also enjoyed the nature very much, so he loved to wander around in our wineries and the vineyards. They're very famous. So he really enjoyed the climate because it contributed to his well-being. And in Baden there are actually a lot of paths who are named after Beethoven, so you can wander in the footsteps of Beethoven if you like. And there is one very nice story who shows us what an eccentric he actually was. So he wandered around and he forgot the time. It happened at times. So he forgot the time because he was very inspired in nature. And he accidentally wandered about 20 kilometers to Wiener Neustadt. And it was very bad weather later on, so his hat flew away. And we all know he had this very funny and wild hairdo because he wouldn't want to suit up for anybody. And when he arrived in Wiener Neustadt, it was late at night and he was popular at his time. So he would get a room to stay in, but he was that bad looking and he started to knock on the windows and saying, let me in, I'm Beethoven. And people thought he was a drunk. They were like, of course you're Beethoven, yeah, no. And they threw him in a prison actually.
Wow.
And when he was there, he was like, I'm Beethoven, you can't do that, because he was a bit of, and one man, so the master, the chief of the orchestra, he actually met Beethoven at one time, so he went there, identified him, and they knew it was actually Beethoven, so they sent him back to Baden with their apologies.
Sure. And so, having spent a lot of time here, what compositions did he write while in Baden?
Yeah, well, quite in this very room, he actually wrote major parts of the Ninth Symphony. And we do have to give credit to Vienna in the Landstrasse where he finished it. Yeah, so we do have to share the credit. But actually he wrote major parts. So in this apartment, in this very house, he stayed at a few places in Baden actually, but in this house he wrote the parts of the Ninth Symphony, and he stayed here in the years 1821, 22 and 23, and as we know the first performance of the Ninth Symphony was in 1824, so he was quite far with his work.
It's interesting to see the vast range of works he was working on, also the Ninth Symphony, but also sort of the lighter Wellington Sieg and also the late string quartets, the Missa Solemnis.
Yeah, Missa Solemnis for the Archduke, of course, yes.
Right, so
yes.
It's a really piano piece.
Les Adieux was also very, and it's quite interesting because Les Adieux, it was with the coming of the Napoleon troops, and then there's Wellington's victory, so that's both of them.
Sure. Yeah. So we're sitting in this room, which is part of the apartments of his living quarters when he would stay here. So could you tell us a little bit about what rooms he had and what's special here?
Yeah, so what's very special is that this is actually the restored original. So layer by layer, they put off the wall, scratched off the wall, and tried to figure out what was the original. So he had this candy pink with all of these palm leaf-like ornaments, which is very typical for the time. So as I mentioned, the Biedermeier, it's very organic, it's very close to nature, which is of course also the epoch of romance, yeah, And what most people wouldn't think is he didn't have any instruments here. So he just composed here, but he wouldn't have any instruments, no piano, no nothing. Which again shows us what kind of a genius he was, because he heard the music in his head, even before he went deaf. So. And also the bedroom is restored as it is in the original almost.
Even though it's restored, you get an insight, you get to see it through his eyes a little bit.
Yes, and also there are some places where you have this aura, and this is what you feel if you come here. You have this, a little bit of a ghost, of a spirit of Beethoven, and you always feel that when you come here.
Well, thank you for talking with us today about this.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share with your friends. Like Beethoven, I'm going to take a nice summer walk.